That's that deadly.
Player one.
I can make them put their hands to the ceiling. I can make you disperse cash for the feeling. Give it up. I ain't focused on nothing but cash peeling. Yeah, these niggas ain't on shit. They need to kill it. I'm geeky as fuck. Sleep in the building. Really bout it. Big dog on campus. Yeah, I'm building. Checking for the chicken. Early morning kitchen. Ziploc ripping. Children of the corn. We ain't asking for permission. Long nights, hard work, all dedication. Even my bitch anxious, sparking up cause we impatient. Falling out with niggas, the more I'm on paper chasing. In my own zone, speedway and I'm private planing. Yeah, nah, I ain't complaining, just won't settle for that basic. Know the times changing, fuck getting it how these hoes gave it. Yeah, fuck niggas do fuck shit, that's how they play it. Yeah, sometimes all you got is your roots and your foundations. Turn it up a level, turn it up a notch. I was in the days when I got the guap. I was with my niggas swerving, bending blocks. 3 in the morning, but the grinding never stops. Turn it up a level, turn it up a notch. I was making plays in the parking lot. I was with my twin, we was ducking cops. Hard to trust the bitch, she gon' get me got.
What it do? What's good? It's your boy Lucci. It is now 9:30, right? Quick flex. It is now 9:30. But now it's 9:30. We getting it in right now. We got another reaction video, you know what I'm saying? Before we start this reaction video, the movie is gonna be called, we're doing a movie, it's a horror film review. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to what I originally do. It is a movie called Whistle, came out this year. It's supposed to be scary as shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about this one. Haven't seen it. I never even heard about this movie, to tell you the truth. You know what's crazy is I be finding like it's more common for horror movies, like I guess or not common, but I think it's harder for horror movies to go into the box office. I guess because like I be noticing, but there's hella scary movies that I never heard of, never knew of, or nothing, right? And they be so damn good, cult classic type material. And then you come to find out more people, like hella people have seen it and shit, but it's just they didn't come out in the movie theaters like Hereditary. I didn't hear about Hereditary in the movie theaters. If it came out in the movie theaters, you know, excuse me, but I didn't hear about shit coming from in the movie theaters about Hereditary. Another one, Midsummer. Another one, the Menu. You know what I'm saying? The Menu was a good one too, but I never heard about those type of movies coming out into the movie theater. So, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, um, but yeah, man. So we're gonna get in, we're gonna get it in, locked in, tuned in, tapped in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe too. Make sure you keep messing with your boy, man. Keep fucking with me, you feel me? It's all love. I appreciate it to the utmost. Let's try to get this. I'm trying to get this my subscribers up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my subscribers up to 1,000. So we got a mission, man. That's why I'm going in with this shit. You know, I'm on a 90-day run. You know what I'm saying? Might even be a 4-month run, depending on how good this goes. You feel me? To maintain a balance, my time with my kids and my family and my, gotta be a family man first. So, just again, I'm appreciative of y'all messing with me. If I didn't get up to 42 subscribers at this moment in time, I probably would not be as dedicated or have as much momentum. Not saying I need numbers to validate what I'm doing, but they help with, you know, no arguments. Me being on the computer. So yeah, let's get it to it, man. Let's get it going. All right, so we about to get it locked in. We about to tune in right now. This is Whistle. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about this one, man. So y'all get y'all popcorn, get it locked in, get your blunts ready, get your blunts twisted up, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you gotta do. It's about to go there.
Anyone who hears the sound of this mysterious object will be marked by death. The film begins by showing the atmosphere of a school basketball game that is currently taking place. The two teams competing are the Stalkers and the Wolves. At that moment, the Stalkers are
the crazy mascot, the Stalkers,
still leading by 4 points, while the Wolves have not yet managed to close the gap. The atmosphere on the court feels tense because there is not much time left in the match. Seeing this situation, the Wolves coach stands at the edge of the court while trying to motivate his players. He tells them to stay calm and not panic, then quickly gives them a strategy. The plan is for the ball to first be controlled by Dean, then passed to Mason, who is trusted to try scoring. The game resumes. Just as the coach planned, Dean manages to gain control of the ball and immediately passes it to Mason. The effort pays off when the Wolves successfully score 2 points, which is instantly greeted with loud cheers from the spectators in the stands. Mason briefly turns toward the audience, enjoying the moment. However, his smile slowly fades when his eyes focus on something within the crowd, where he seems to notice a shadowy figure standing still behind the people. Mason tries to ignore it and focuses back on the game. A moment later, Dean passes the ball to him again. Without thinking twice, Mason jumps and releases a shot toward the hoop. But right before the ball goes in, something strange happens. White smoke suddenly appears in the middle of the court, and a mysterious figure emerges and begins moving closer to Mason. Strangely, the audience continues cheering for the score, as if nothing unusual has happened, as though no one else can see the figure. Meanwhile, Mason panics and immediately runs off the court toward the locker room. He quickly opens his locker and pulls something out from inside it.
Boy, running from death. Can you imagine what be going on in like schizophrenic niggas' heads and shit like that when they be when they be like, she crazy, P.
Without hesitation, he smashes the object using a nearby weight, as if the item is something dangerous. At the same time, Mason keeps glancing toward the mysterious figure that continues moving closer to him. Suddenly, his teammates enter the locker room to
It is your time, Mason.
celebrate their victory. Seeing them makes Mason feel slightly relieved because the figure has disappeared. Not long after that, the scene shifts to the shower room. By that time, the other players have already finished cleaning up after the game, but Mason still has not come out. This makes Dean begin to feel worried. Dean calls out to Mason to make sure he is okay. When Mason looks down at the floor, his attention is drawn to a puddle of water, whose color slowly begins turning dark and black. Suddenly, a creature appears behind him with a body that looks burned and charred. The creature immediately grabs Mason by the neck with terrifying strength, and within seconds, Mason's body begins to burn.
Oh, shit. With all the homies around you and everything, nigga, how you burn up like that in the showers, homie?
His teammates rush inside and can only watch in panic as the horrifying
Supernatural
event unfolds so quickly that Mason dies right in front of them.
Come on, man, you've been there forever.
Y'all see how it's the nigga that noticed something was off. I'm just saying.
After the horrifying incident, the story shifts to the life of a teenage girl named Chris, who is seen sitting outside her bedroom window while drawing a bird perched on a tree branch. Not long afterward, a young man named Rel, who is Chris's cousin, approaches her while bringing breakfast. Rel says that he is happy to help prepare everything for Chris because that day will be her first day at a new school, the same school he...
That boy right there is the Gen Beta. This is what all these little boys is gonna end up being, looking like all soft as shit. They look like I don't even know what. Boy looks soft as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit, bro. The fit cool with the skater shit, you know what I'm saying? But like all that extra flamboyant with it, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like chill, P. I don't got nothing against the LGBTQ community and all that there. I don't got nothing wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? Live your best life. But just, I don't see that shit in a horror movie, bro.
attends.
Good to see you settled in, cuz.
Good to see you settled in, cuz.
Don't want to be late on your first day. New school.
When Chris arrives at the school, her presence
I ain't gonna lie though. Them type of people like that, him, he probably got like he probably into like some cool ass shit though. I ain't gonna cap with you. That nigga probably know how to like do like edits that I need.
immediately attracts the attention of many students around her. As a new student, it is not surprising that some people watch her with curiosity. Trouble begins when Chris is assigned a locker that previously belonged to Mason, the student who recently died under mysterious circumstances.
I'm bad to keep positive, y'all, but I just want to say too, I think it's cool how they show him fucking with her at school like that, like tough, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I know some people, kids are mean as fuck, bro. And like, I know some people that went to school with their cousins or something, and they did not kick it because the social rank was just, you don't compete where you don't compare. But I done seen it with my own two eyes, bro. Nigga, kids is mean.
Several students quickly approach her, including Dean, and forbid Chris from using the locker because they believe it still belongs to their friend who passed away. Dean does not stop there and begins mocking Chris, turning her into a target of bullying simply because she is the new student at the school. Seeing the situation becoming uncomfortable, a girl named Grace tries to step in and calm things down, asking Dean not to escalate the problem. However, the tension has already risen, and another girl named Ellie eventually intervenes and breaks up the argument, putting a stop to Dean's increasingly rude behavior. Chris, who is already annoyed, ends up kicking Dean. A teacher named Mr. Craven quickly arrives and stops the situation. Dean tries to complain to the teacher while Ellie attempts to explain what really happened and defend Chris. Even so, Mr. Craven decides to punish all of them. After the commotion ends, Ellie approaches Chris and apologizes because she feels responsible for being dragged into the conflict. However, Chris refuses the apology and firmly says that she does not need help from anyone.
Yeah, bitch, go leave with the people you came here with.
Not long afterward, Chris opens her locker again. Inside, she finds an object that looks like a small container. When she opens it, she discovers another object inside that resembles a small skull. At first, Chris thinks it is just a strange decoration, but when she looks closer, she realizes that the small skull has holes, like a whistle that can be blown. Chris becomes curious and briefly considers blowing the whistle. However, before she can do so, the school bell suddenly rings, signaling that class is about to begin.
Hey, I'm gonna just tell you right now, little baby. Be careful what you blow on, because it'll change your life forever if you fuck up.
Chris finally gives up the idea and quickly
I ain't gonna lie. She like a little ass girl right there about to eat something off the floor. Ain't not putting shit in your mouth.
heads to class. When she arrives in Mr. Craven's classroom, she is slightly late. As she opens her bag, the skull-shaped object, which turns out to be a whistle, accidentally falls onto her desk. Mr. Craven immediately picks it up and studies it with curiosity. He comments that the object looks quite unusual. The entire class begins watching as Mr. Craven examines the whistle more closely.
Killed everybody in that
I
room.
know. The rest, I mean, I don't know. Oh, look, there's a word here. That would be pronounced to be P-I-X-A-N. Kaba.
Summon the dead.
Not long after that, Mr. Craven notices carvings on the surface of the whistle that resemble ancient writing. After examining it carefully, the inscription reads Kaba Pixon, which, when translated, means summon the dead. After discovering the meaning of the engraving on the whistle, Mr. Craven decides to keep it. He says the object now belongs to the school since it was found on school property. However, Mr. Craven himself seems interested in the whistle
He just robbed that bitch for her artifact, and he about to die now.
and suspects that it might be an antique that could be worth a lot of money.
It's the dude from Shaun of the Dead. Ain't that something? I don't know how I be telling faces. That's the big dude. He funny as shit.
If
In real
so,
life, he funny.
meanwhile, outside the classroom, Chris is talking with Rel. Suddenly, Rel remembers that he left his book in the classroom, so he quickly goes back to retrieve it.
How was your first day at Pellington High?
Ellie seems nice. I really don't want to talk about it. Oh, okay.
Inside the room, Mr. Craven is seen searching the internet for information about the whistle. He looks quite surprised when he discovers that similar items are actually priced very high. Before even thinking about selling it, Mr. Craven decides to test whether the whistle can really be used. When he blows the whistle, the glass window nearby suddenly cracks for no clear reason.
7
Not
years
long
of
after
bad
that,
luck.
Mr. Craven leaves the room and heads to the restroom. That moment becomes an opportunity for Rel to enter the classroom and retrieve his book. When he sees Mr. Craven's laptop screen displaying the high price of the whistle, Rel immediately realizes it.
35 bands for an artifact like that. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit?
Its value and quickly takes the whistle before leaving the room. Outside the school, Chris meets a man named Noah who introduces himself as a religious preacher. He invites Chris to visit his church someday. However, Noah's attitude suddenly changes when he takes something out of his pocket and begins offering illegal drugs. Seeing this, Rel quickly steps in to protect Chris. Noah easily intimidates
What the fuck? This nigga. left to get his butt, came back and got his ass beat.
Before leaving while giving them a threat.
Are you okay?
And his cousin ain't shit. She didn't do shit about it. His cousin lame as fuck. She didn't do shit
I'm
about
gonna
it.
surprise you. I'm the youth pastor. How about a welcome to town gift thing?
I don't.
Hey, get the fuck away from me! Everyone, if you need me.
After the encounter, Rel explains that although many parents trust Noah, the man is actually the one spreading illegal drugs to teenagers, and several people have already died because of him. That night, they gather at Grace's
So he over here selling drugs and he don't even know he's selling bad shit.
house
Fucking up the whole community.
to work on their assignments together. During their conversation, Rel eventually shows them the whistle he took from the classroom. When Grace sees the strange object, she suddenly gets the idea to try a game. She suggests that they use the whistle to try summoning the spirit of someone who has already died. Strangely, the idea excites everyone and is immediately welcomed with enthusiasm by some of them. Chris, however, feels uncomfortable with the game and begins thinking about going home. Ellie tries to
Smart woman.
stop her and convinces her to stay a little longer.
For the high schoolers, smart girl.
Just as Chris is still hesitating and about to leave, Grace quickly blows the whistle. The sound that comes out of it is extremely sharp and piercing, causing everyone to fall silent for a moment. A few seconds later, Dean suddenly looks uneasy. He claims that he hears something strange in the sound of the whistle, like
Nigga, y'all niggas need to just smoke some weed. You know what I'm saying? Be some regular teens. You know, the season's over. Just smoke some weed. Kick it by the pool. Talk to some bitches. You know, all this extra shit. Leave it alone.
footsteps.
Can't even say there's no niggas in this movie because there's a nigga in this movie. And his hair braided in this scene. That's a nigga.
Slowly approaching. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Mr. Craven returns to the classroom and immediately realizes that the whistle has disappeared. Annoyed, he begins searching around the school. While walking through a hallway, he calls out to Charlie, the school janitor. At that moment, he briefly sees someone standing at the end of the corridor before Charlie suddenly appears and startles him. Charlie's sudden appearance makes Mr. Craven think that he might just be tired and imagining things. However, that thought quickly changes when he returns to the classroom. The mysterious figure he saw earlier appears again inside the room. This time, the creature moves directly toward him, and within seconds, Mr. Craven is brutally killed by the entity.
So how they gonna die how the demon, whatever comes in front of them, whatever dead thing, whatever dead entity is in front of them, that's how they gonna die. Oh boy got burned. Oh boy got burned. You know what I'm saying? The dude put his full of what is it? The dude that looked like he was burned to death. Put his hand down the nigga's throat. Then he caught on fire in the showers. Now this nigga Swiss stomach.
The story then returns to Grace's house. The atmosphere there still seems relaxed, as if nothing strange has happened. Dean continues joking around with the others, while Chris still feels uneasy and decides to go home. Ellie follows her and invites her to attend the festival that will take place the next day. Ellie says that it might be one of the last chances for them to spend time together before their lives begin to change. Before they finally separate, Rel returns Ellie's medical equipment that he had borrowed earlier.
You should come tomorrow, Pellington Harvest Festival. I'd just like it if you came.
Sounds cute.
Text me about the Harvest Festival.
Later that night, when Chris is in her room, she notices someone standing on top of the tree right outside her window. The figure stands still while staring toward her window. However, when Rel suddenly appears beside her and Chris looks back at the tree, the mysterious figure has disappeared. Somewhere else, Grace is relaxing beside the pool while finishing her homework. Suddenly, she senses something.
Who the fuck does their homework out? What? You got your laptop by the water?
Moving behind her, crawling slowly. At first, Grace thinks that Dean is just trying to prank her as usual. But after a few seconds, she realizes that the figure behind her is not Dean at all.
Timmy, I hear you. Hello?
The next morning, all the students gather
That nigga was bear crawling behind that
at
dude.
school to attend a ceremony held in memory of Mr. Craven. The news of the teacher's death shocks both Chris and Rel because it happened so suddenly. During the ceremony, Ellie briefly notices a student sitting in front of them whose movements seem strange and unnatural, but it turns out to be only a hallucination she experiences. After the ceremony ends, Rel suggests that the whistle they found should be returned to Mason's family. According to him, the whistle was found in Mason's locker, so it likely belonged to Mason. Because of that, Chris and Ellie decide to go to Mason's house to return the whistle.
You just find something you love and you...
Look at this place.
When they arrive, they find the front door already open. They call out from the doorway, but no one answers from inside the house. Feeling both curious and worried, they eventually decide to step inside the house to check if anyone is there. When they enter Mason's house, Chris begins to feel that something about the atmosphere inside is strange and
Yeah, they're all dead.
unsettling. Not long after, a woman named Ivy, who is Mason's
Just shut the fuck up.
mother, finally appears and approaches them. She invites Chris and Ellie into a room inside the house that is filled with various antique objects. When Chris tries to return the whistle she found in Mason's locker, Ivy explains that the object has never truly belonged to anyone. According to her, the whistle seems to have a will of its own and always moves from one person to another, choosing whoever happens to find it. Ivy then begins to reveal something far more terrifying about the whistle. She explains that when someone blows it, everyone nearby who hears the sound will also be affected. The sound
It's a wrap.
of the whistle marks them and calls their deaths closer than they were originally meant to happen. Every person already has a predetermined way of dying, but once the whistle is blown, that fate is accelerated, and death begins approaching them sooner than it should. According to Ivy, death will appear in the form of different figures, depending on how each person is meant to die in the future. These figures will cause the death to happen in a way that mirrors their original fate.
So what if you die from just like old age? Or you're gonna like have like some old ass niggas. If I was to die from old age and I blew that whistle or I heard the whistle, yada yada, whatever, nigga, I'm gonna be getting haunted from like a old ass version of me and shit. It's gonna be like an old ass just dried up nigga just trying to touch me. What the fuck?
For example, if someone is destined to die in a vehicle accident at an older age, an event resembling that accident will still occur even if the person is not near a road. A person might simply be standing inside their bedroom, yet they could still hear the sounds of a violent crash or chaos like a major accident before dying as if they had truly been involved in one. When this happens, the victim's body can even transform to match the age they were supposed to reach when they died naturally. So even if they are still young, their bodies may rapidly age until they reach the age they were meant to die. After hearing this explanation, Chris still tries to return the whistle, but Ivy hands it back to her, as if the object has already chosen Chris as the one who should hold it now. After leaving the house, Ellie thinks Ivy's explanation sounds far too strange to be believable, and assumes the woman might simply be ill or speaking irrationally. Meanwhile, in another part of town, a festival is taking place and the atmosphere there is lively and crowded. Rel arrives at the festival with a rather eye-catching appearance and finally gathers the courage to confess his feelings to Grace. However,
What the fuck are you wearing, bro?
Grace gently rejects him, telling him that he is too kind and that someone else might be more suitable for him. After saying
He trying to be the Brandon Lee, trying to be the Crow. Fuck, he got on.
that, Grace simply kisses Rel on the cheek before walking away.
Come on, Grace, yo! So give me a shot.
Someday you're gonna make someone better than me so happy.
You're a fucking nerd and no one likes you.
Meanwhile, Chris continues thinking about the connection between Mason's death and Mr. Craven's death, which feels too strange to be considered a coincidence. Because she suspects something is wrong, Chris and Ellie sneak into a hospital to search for Mason's medical records.
Ellie, you will become what you would have been in your last breath.
Blamed it on a gas leak.
The coroner's report says late 40s.
After finding the documents they are looking for, Chris discovers something shocking. The records show that Mason's body displayed physical signs resembling a much older man, as if he had been around 40 years old when he died. This immediately reminds Chris of Ivy's explanation that when death is accelerated, a person's body can age to the age they were meant to reach when they died, naturally. Realizing that Ivy's story might actually be true, they suddenly understand that all of them could be in serious danger. As they leave the hospital, they unexpectedly run into Noah. The moment Ellie sees him, she immediately unleashes her anger, remembering the many problems he has caused. Chris also vents her frustration before the two of them leave and hurry to find Rel in order to warn the others. Meanwhile,
You know what's crazy is that dude keep coming around trying to sell her them weak ass drugs. What if she what if she dies like what if her death is like an overdose type thing? I don't know. It's just wild card, wild card. What if she dies from like it make it like her death looks like an overdose on drugs or whatever, and it's like yeah, because you would have took those drugs from him if tell or yeah, not tell if Rel was there or you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's just crazy to me. I don't know.
at the
Wild card.
festival, Grace is exploring a horror-themed maze attraction. Inside the maze, there are many performers wearing costumes who intentionally jump out to scare visitors. At first, Grace believes everything she sees is simply part of the attraction. However, it does not take long before she notices something that feels different. In one corner of the maze, she sees a woman standing completely still while staring directly at her. Grace begins to feel uneasy and tries to find the exit, but every time she runs in another direction, the woman somehow appears in front of her again. In another section of the maze, Dean is walking with a friend, completely unaware of what is actually happening. Chris, Ellie, and Rel soon arrive at the festival and enter the maze as they search for their friends. Meanwhile, Grace becomes increasingly panicked and keeps running while trying to call Dean on the phone. However, Dean believes she is simply getting carried away with the attraction and does not realize that something far more dangerous is chasing her. When Grace finally understands that the situation is not normal at all, she keeps running until she reaches a dead end.
Dean, please, you need to come and find me. Fucking crazy old woman is trying to follow me. Please hurry, please hurry.
Calm down. It's a haunted maze.
You know, it's crazy. I thought that in my head for a second. Why don't you grab something and try to hit the bitch? That she hitting herself. She do that, and now, man.
There, she notices a narrow gap between the maze walls and attempts to crawl through it in order to escape. But just before she can get out, the mysterious woman suddenly grabs her ankle. Within seconds, Grace's body begins changing rapidly. Her face and body age quickly until she becomes an elderly woman.
And that's what would happen if you die of old age. Damn. Remember, I don't be watching these. This is my first time watching this shit, experiencing it with y'all. This is all off the rip. That shit crazy to the motherfucker, huh?
Not long afterward, Dean finally reaches the location. But by then, it is already too late. All he finds is Grace's lifeless body hanging there. After the tragedy, Chris and Ellie explain everything that happened to Grace when they gather with Rel and Dean at the school basketball court. However, Dean refuses to believe their story and instead blames Chris, saying that all these problems started ever since she arrived at their school. Chris then explains that all of them had actually heard the sound of the whistle, which means they unknowingly summoned their own deaths. Rel, who is still devastated by Grace's death, lashes out at Dean because he believes the game with the whistle triggered everything that happened.
You can't get mad when you dressed up like that, nigga.
Her fault she's dead.
Yeah, you can't get mad when you dress like that, nigga.
Later, Chris and Ellie spend time together, trying to understand the terrifying situation they are now facing. During their conversation, Chris reveals
Who y'all think next? I'm gonna call Rel. I'm calling Rel to be the next one gone.
the story of her father's death, explaining that he died in a car accident when a truck suddenly appeared and took his life. Ever since that moment, Chris has always felt guilty and often listens to her father's favorite music to remember him. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Rel begins experiencing strange visions about his own death. In the vision, he sees himself inside the factory where he works, surrounded by massive machines that continue operating. The vision makes Rel realize that his death in the future will most likely happen in that place, not in any other way. The following day, Chris, Ellie, and Rel visit Ivy again, who now appears much weaker than before. As her condition worsens, Ivy once again explains that death cannot truly be canceled. According to her, everyone will eventually face the death that has already been destined for them. However, she also reveals that the path of that fate can still be redirected. A person can transfer their destined death to someone else through a sacrifice. Even so, Ivy warns them that this does not mean death can be defeated.
Why it always gotta go to some satanic shit?
Because in the end, death will always find its way.
It took our friend. What does it want?
Death is unstoppable. But there is a way to change its course. When your death is near, mark another with your blood. Give your death someone else's life.
So basically, you could trade your death of coming right now to you for somebody else's life, however long. It's like some Final Destination shit, man. But this one, you don't got to kill somebody to take their kill an innocent person to take what their lifespan is. It's she said you mark your blood on them. Just cut your hand or something, cut yourself and mark your blood on them. But I mean, shit. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't even gonna lie about it, nigga. All you gotta do is tell me once, nigga. I'm going to Starbucks. You know where I'm going? I'm going to a fucking health store and I'm marking a little kid.
When Chris accidentally sees a vision of her own death in the mirror,
Call it what you want, bro. Fuck. Yeah, bro.
Ivy's condition grows weaker until she finally takes her last breath. The moment further proves that death truly cannot be avoided. However, unlike the others, Rel begins thinking about another possibility after hearing Ivy's explanation about transferring the fate of death. The idea convinces him that there might still be—
Yeah, nigga, I'm looking for toddlers, infants. You know, the lighter the stroller, the better the holder. You feel me? Nah, I'm playing. I ain't going like that. But you know, in all panic mode though, I am for shit show Marcus Marinos. Oh, I ain't trying to go right now. Not like that. That ain't how my story gonna get told.
a way to save himself, so he leaves with a plan slowly forming in his mind. Somewhere else, Dean is in his room, watching the news about a body that was discovered the previous night. He immediately feels nauseous when he realizes the victim being reported is Grace. The room that had been quiet suddenly changes when his door slowly opens by itself. Even though Dean closes the door again, he can still sense that something has entered his room. Not long after that, the fate of his death begins to catch up with him. Because Dean is destined to die in the future from a vehicle accident, the event starts to manifest in a strange way. Even though he is still inside his bedroom, Dean begins hearing loud, crashing sounds, as if a violent collision is happening all around him. In a state of panic, it feels as though he is experiencing the accident himself, until his body is ultimately destroyed as if he had been struck by a vehicle. In that way, Dean finally dies, as if the death that was meant for his future has arrived much sooner than it should have.
Damn. His dad should have opened that door a little bit sooner, P. What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Chris and Ellie begin to grow suspicious when Rel suddenly disappears. They enter Rel's room to search for clues and find various photos and notes that show visions of how Rel is destined to die in the future. From this discovery, they realize that Rel is planning something extremely dangerous in order to escape his own fate. At the same time, Rel goes to confront Noah. With a pistol in his hand, he corners Noah and intends to use him as the sacrifice to transfer his destined death. Noah, of course, does not stay silent and immediately tries to fight back. At one point, he even manages to grab the pistol and quickly pulls the trigger
It ain't gonna work because he's not supposed to die like that.
toward Rel. But strangely, the gun does not fire at all. Rel remains calm because he knows
You remember Final Destination when the nigga lost it? I don't know if it was Final Destination 2 or 3, but there was a nigga in Final Destination and he had lost his shit after they talked to the Candyman nigga about how the Final Destination shit, how it works and stuff. And he went in the room. I remember he had like a 6-shot. He had a little revolver. He tried to, and it wouldn't work. And then they all tried to shoot and stuff. It's like, what was your yeah, bro. This is just Final Destination as a with a different concept.
that he is not destined to die from being shot. After that, Rel knocks Noah unconscious and ties him up.
He explains to that nigga how he ain't gonna die right now and then knock him the fuck out.
Rel then forces Noah to swallow his own drugs, leaving the man in a severe hallucinatory state. Noah begins seeing things that are not actually there around him. Rel then cuts his own palm until blood begins to flow. With his blood-covered hand, he plans to transfer his destined death by touching Noah with it.
Guess me and Rel ain't too different, huh?
If the blood touches Noah's body, then the death that was supposed to happen to Rel will be transferred to him. However, before Rel can do it, Chris and Ellie arrive just in time to stop him. The two of them beg Rel not
What the fuck? Why y'all trying to stop him from living?
to sacrifice an innocent person just to save him.
You know what time it is. You know what that nigga do. It's a fair trade, nigga.
Himself. Cornered and desperate, Rel briefly points the pistol at them so they will not interfere. The situation becomes extremely tense because Rel looks completely hopeless and feels he has no other choice. But when he finally brings his blood-covered hand close to Noah's body, Rel suddenly freezes. His hand stops just before touching Noah. Deep inside, he cannot bring himself to involve another person in the fate that should belong to him.
Yeah, we're different.
With a resigned expression, he says that in the end, everyone will die. It is only a matter of time. He chooses not to transfer the fate of death. However, because Rel does not go through with it, the time he has left finally runs out. In an instant, the shadow of death appears before him, and the fate that was supposed to wait for him in the future arrives much sooner than it should. Rel's body is suddenly crushed as if caught in massive industrial machinery, as though he is truly inside the factory where he was meant to die in the future.
Hey, you want to know what's crazy? I seen a nigga lose all this right here, nigga. Working Pacific Seafood. Nigga. Matter of fact, nigga. Yeah, no cap, bro. Working Pacific Seafood, nigga. I seen a nigga lose his arm, bro. A Honduras dude named Daniel. There's a Honduras dude. He lost his fucking arm in the grinder machine trying to get the nozzle to the nozzle top to the water hose. We were sanitation crew in Astoria, Oregon. We were sanitation crew. It was a graveyard shift. That nigga lost his arm, and I pulled that nigga out the grinder machine while his jacket was yanked in there and shit. His arm was in there, and I wasn't supposed to, but I had headphones and I was listening to my music and shit. You feel me? And just remember hearing a loud ass scream. I had my music up, but you're not supposed to have them banging. You feel me? You got to hear your surroundings. And I heard this loud ass. What the fuck? Look up. I just see him over the fucking thing like this, nigga. I'm like, oh shit. Ran over there and I had to, he didn't move. Like he wasn't, like the shit had him, right? So, oh, nigga, all my mic, nigga. Earphones flying out and shit, nigga. And he fell out, nigga. But it was surreal because we like, right when boom, we get our balance. And then he look at me, I look at him. I look at him up and down. And I see, and he got his hand, he's like this standing. He like this standing. But this is all gone. It's just the jacket sleeve, right? Our PPE, our protective gear. It was the jacket sleeve, nigga, and it had a little hole in the wrist part where, like, the wrist part of the jacket sleeve, it had a hole right there. And nothing but little blood driplets just dropping down onto the floor. And I'm like, I told him, he didn't even speak English or nothing, but I was just shocked. I was like, what the fuck? So I asked, I said, the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, you lost your hand? And he and just starts running, nigga. He turns around and starts running, bro. And he's running to all like the everybody that the rest of the crew. It was me, you know, it was a couple Americans, it was a couple Serbians, like from Serbia and Ukraine and shit like that. Like it was a couple of them, and it was a couple of Honduras and Guatemalans working with us. And nigga, that shit, yeah, bro. Nigga, the EMT and shit. I don't know what that right there though. Just that shit'll fuck you up, bro. But yeah, just a fun story. Yeah, I seen a nigga lose his arm. That shit right there though is not no joke. That
Chris
shit,
and Ellie
man.
can only stand frozen as they witness the event because everything happens so quickly. Real's death makes Chris realize that they may not have much time left. In a desperate situation, she comes up with a very risky plan. She asks Ellie to inject a large dose of insulin so that her body will lose consciousness and her heartbeat will weaken for a short time. If she is clinically considered dead, they hope the death chasing her will pass her by. After that, Ellie will try to bring her back using adrenaline and the medical equipment she has. When the
Then it's crazy, the two bitches doing the most investigating is the ones that live the longest.
Plan begins, Chris slowly starts seeing the figure of death appearing in front of her. Even though fear begins to rise, she tries to stay focused. She fills a tank with water while Ellie injects insulin into her body.
Final destination, bro. She's got to die and then be revived, and then she beat death.
And the defibrillator kickstarts the heart.
Not long after, Chris's body begins to weaken and her consciousness slowly fades. Chris's body is then slowly submerged in the water tank. The figure of death now becomes clearer as it stands before her. After a few moments, Ellie quickly pulls Chris out of the water and tries to revive her using the medical equipment available. She repeatedly pumps Chris's heart while preparing the adrenaline injection.
But how's she gonna die?
On the other side of the building, Noah, who begins to recover from the effects of the drugs, tries to find them. He attempts to break down the locked door while shouting loudly. Meanwhile, the shadow of death meant for Ellie begins to appear near her, but Ellie remains determined and does not stop trying to save Chris. A moment later, Noah finally manages to enter the room and immediately fires his pistol at various equipment inside. In her subconscious, Chris hears Ellie's voice calling her name again and again. She sees a bright light in the distance and slowly swims toward that light. Suddenly, her eyes open and she manages to come back to life. But when she rises, Chris sees Ellie already lying on the floor with a gunshot wound. Standing near her is the shadow of Ellie's death, as if waiting for its moment, because in the future, Ellie is destined to die from being shot.
Wow.
Noah, now in panic, points his gun at them again to finish everything. However, when he sees the blood flowing on the floor from Ellie's wound, Noah stares at it in a strange way. With his fanatical belief,
That's crazy. He finna be marked. She marked him with her blood.
he sees the blood as a sacred sacrifice, similar to blood that redeems human sins. Driven by that belief, Noah deliberately touches Ellie's blood. At that moment, something suddenly changes. The fate of death that was supposed to happen to Ellie instead transfers to him. The figure of death now appears directly in front of Noah. In panic, he repeatedly fires his pistol at the figure. However, the bullets he fires suddenly ricochet back and strike him instead, ending his life on the spot.
I'm sorry.
3 months later, life slowly begins to return to normal. Chris tries to live her life as usual, although sometimes she still sees the shadow of death as if it continues to follow her from a distance. Now, she begins to learn that not every fate can be fought against, but it turns out that everything is not truly over. One day, a new student receives a locker at the school. When she opens it, she finds a whistle that looks very familiar, the same whistle that was once discovered by Chris. During a school gathering event, the girl takes out the whistle in front of the other students. Without knowing what she is actually doing, she blows the whistle. And from that moment, it seems that everything is about to begin again, and the story comes to an end. Anyone who...
You dumbass little girl. She done fucked the whole school up. That's crazy. Hey, I dig it though. I could dig it. That was a good one right there. You know, I felt like it was a little bit of a copycat of the Final Destination plot. You know how basically they be surviving tell of events. The only thing that's different, my bad on the heartburn too. I told y'all I be getting them bad. I'm making a nigga. But anyways, here nor there. The only thing different from Final Destination in that one is nobody dies in order. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't a specific order. It kind of was like who you kind of could see it off of who was important and who wasn't important. But I was right on my wild card though. That nigga Rail was next. He was next up, but. Actually, no, I was wrong because Dean died next, then Rail died, so I was wrong on the wild card. But yeah, I rate that one a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it real deal like Holyfield. 6 out of 10, just because I'm familiar with the movie plot. But it seems like something interesting to watch if I was like with the homies, you know, if we was doing like couples night, you know what I'm saying? I'll definitely put that on for shit show. It'd be a good choice. But yeah, man, thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in, and subscribing. For those that are new, go ahead and subscribe. I got way more content like this coming. This right here is my forte is the scary movie reviews. But I'll be doing reviews on everything. You feel me? I think it's my third or fourth day. It's my third or fourth day making what's it called? Making reaction videos. So I'm just getting better. This is the beginning. But it's hella more to come. I'm gonna put some years into this type of shit right here. So yeah, just stay tuned, man. Appreciate the love. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe.